Good afternoon, morning, evening, everyone, and welcome to another Nerd Nation stream. And if you saw us yesterday, we were talking about PlayStation 5 and we are just seeing it for the first time, seeing how we felt about it and stuff. I've had a chance to sleep on it all, and I got a few things I'd like to talk about. Nothing in the positive, unfortunately. But nevertheless, this needs to be spoken about. I have with me today Cousin Cheeto. Say hello, my friend.
So,
very good. As you can see, he's just as enthusiastic as I am. And let's get this show on the road. Okay, well, we saw the PlayStation 5 reveal. I hope a lot of people saw the PlayStation 5 reveal the other day. We saw games, we saw the console, we saw the accessories. But I personally did not like a lot of things I saw. So I want to talk about them. Now, regarding the games, first of all, actually, I'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about the look of the console for a start. Now, this thing is fucking huge. And now it does look like a router, but I don't give a shit about that too much. It is funny that it looks like a router, hilarious, yada, yada, yada. But this thing is fucking huge. Now, usually Xbox does the bigger consoles, you know, with the fucking fat-ass power pack and all that bollocks. But PlayStation decided to make this huge fucking thing. It is much taller than the new Xbox. And that, for me, is an issue. I mean, it shouldn't be that fucking big. And you can already tell in the future that they're going to make smaller versions of this. That's why they made it so fucking big in the first place. Obviously, the color is white. I'm not a fan of this color for PlayStation. PlayStation 1 might have been gray, but the last three PlayStations have been black. That's their color. Yeah, I'm sounding a bit of a traditionalist, and it being white is not the end of the world, but it just feels... doesn't. I mean, like, the new Xbox looks more like a fucking PlayStation, the size of a fucking house. And I'm sure you obviously don't care about the size too much, by the way, Roberto. Am I correct?
yeah, I mean, the size of the console is not really that much of a concern to me. I always assume that they're going to make a slim or a smaller version or a sporty version, whatever you want to call it. You know, I mean, that never bothers me. The only thing I care, I mean, I have a spot behind my entertainment center where I keep my PS4, so I can put a huge freaking console back there if I really wanted to. But
I see it a little bit differently. What you say does bother me because I know they're going to bring out smaller versions of this fucking console because they've done it in the past with the PS4. I mean, I think that they brought out 3 or 4 different versions, different generations of the PlayStation 4. So it's bound to happen with this. So I'm not actually gagging for it. Because when you look at some of the games as well, as pretty as they do look, there are some still fantastically looking games currently on the PlayStation 4 that look amazing on that particular hardware. And obviously, it would look better on the PlayStation 5, but I don't feel I'm missing that much graphically at this particular moment, at these early stages of this console. So I'm not gagging to get it, nevertheless. But the size of this console really does bother me, knowing that they are going to definitely bring out smaller ones in the future. If we've seen this pattern before. I'm not even sure. Did they do that with the PlayStation 3 as well? Did they bring out smaller versions of that?
Yes, they did.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, there's slimmer versions of PlayStation 3.
Yeah, so they might have even done it with the 2. You know, I'm not even sure, but you never know. But the point is, they've done this for over.
There's definitely a
smaller version. So yeah, they've done this. So jumping ahead, you know, trying to get this in. It feels ridiculous for its size, but that shouldn't be the be all and end all. But something this fucking big, this big, you know, the size of a goddamn house, should have the space of a goddamn house when it comes to storage of video games. But this is the one that gets me the most. I mean, the other stuff does bother me too, but this is the one that gets me the most. The storage capacity for the PlayStation 5 is less than a terabyte. It's 825 gigabytes, which is ridiculous. It is awfully small. You know, you may be able to fit maybe 5 games nowadays, modern games on it, which is going to be over 100 gigabytes in size. Currently, I'm playing just a multiplayer game with a small campaign in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's 115 gigabytes. I believe Red Dead Redemption 2 was like 120 gigabytes. These are massive games, and you're only giving this 825 gigabytes on the PlayStation 5, where the games are going to be far bigger, far bigger than the PlayStation 4 games. It's just not right. You can tell that there's a setup being made for external storage, or maybe another PlayStation down the line with 2 terabytes or whatever. This is just not on. And I really hope this affects the fucking sales of the PlayStation 5, because people shouldn't be buying something which, you know, with mediocre storage. It's just bullshit. I'm not happy about this at all. And I will not buy a PlayStation 5 until it has at least 2 terabytes of internal storage. How do you feel about this, Roberto? But I know this pisses you off.
I mean, really, it makes me mad only because, I mean, you know, it's kind of like, okay, so the only way I can describe this is going from, like, let's use the Super Saiyan scale, which I know you have probably no idea about, Zam, but maybe nerds out there do. So you got Super
Dragon
Saiyan
Ball
to
Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. So you got Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3. So let's say that the jump from each console is a Super Saiyan.
Sorry, my bad.
This jumping in scale is along the lines of going, instead of going from Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2, you're going from like Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan grade 2, not even Super Saiyan 2. Like you at the very minimal, I mean, you at the very minimal should have 2 maybe 3 terabytes of memory, because in all actuality, I mean, you've got PlayStations out there that at least have 1 terabyte. So I mean, the power scaling here is not even jumping a full Super Saiyan up. Like it's to me, that is very pathetic. And I mean, they're gonna try to make us pay more for a over probably 1.5 or 2 terabyte system. So you're gonna be forking out $800 to $900, I imagine. And that transitions you right into that price point where it's like $700 for the base console.
Panny I just got a message from Ginger Greek. Yeah. And first of all, he said on your thumbnail you put MB, not GB. So people so nice one there. But nevertheless, he also said that we're going to probably be doing some cloud storage, which I never really initially thought of, but oh god, it's like, you know, we'll probably have to pay for that privilege, which is unfortunate as well. We do have a library system currently on PlayStation 4, and we can remove and delete stuff all the time. But who really wants to fucking do that on the current gen? Surely we should have something more sophisticated than that. This limited when it comes to storage space, especially after all the, you know, we've had plenty of time to learn that, you know, we need more capacity for our technology. We need better capacity, more storage, more gigabytes, more megabytes, more terabytes. We need it all because we are constantly advancing these things, and they require more fucking storage. All right, that was the other things that bug us. Now, one of the things that also bugs me and Roberto is the rumored price, and I want to say rumored price because it hasn't 100% been confirmed. Now, the price was $700 that is being rumored, and I'm not surprised by that. Sir Ranis, welcome to the stream, mate. He says, I was going to quickly say what he said because it just caught me off guard a little bit. Sony claimed consoles are not dead yet. Why would I spend that money for a console if I can get a PC? Consoles are glorified PCs anyway. I was going to get onto that, by the way. I'm very happy that you mentioned that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I will actually incorporate what you said, Sir Ranis, into my little rant. You know, if you're going to spend $700 fucking dollars, you might as well spend a bit more and then get yourself a decent gaming PC. What's the point of spending this sort of money on a goddamn console, regardless of all the fucking bells and whistles that come with it, if you're getting something that is not as good as a decent gaming PC? Because this PlayStation 5, you know, with all the fucking shit put into it, will never be as good. It's just a decent, not even the top of the range, just a decent gaming PC will be far superior to this, and we're spending this sort of money on a console. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure the digital version will be a lot cheaper. Well, I don't want to say a lot cheaper, maybe $25, $50 cheaper than the one with the disc drive. And personally, I've been buying my stuff digitally for for many years now, ever since my PlayStation 4 disc drive broke, I've had to go down that route anyway. So I'm happy to buy the digital version of the PlayStation 5. Want to save some money? Don't bulky disc. Can't be asked with discs. It's 20 fuck CDs. I know some people are purists and stuff like that, and they're kind of nostalgic and they like the hardware and all that bollocks. But no, not for me. The price, Roberto. What do you think?
I mean, for me, $700 is insanely too much for a console. And I know everyone's like, oh, a gaming PC is so much more than yada. Well, guess what? I don't have a gaming PC. I don't buy gaming PCs. And for a gaming console to be over $500, I mean, when the PS4 was $500, I thought that was absurd. I mean, with the way technology grows and becomes obsolete, I don't understand why these things have to keep going up in price so high, like so fast. The rate of technology, and I just think that they're increasing the price because they think they can. And I mean, this is why I never buy first generation, like the first wave of a console, because there's too many issues. It's way overpriced. And I know that they say they sold the PS4 at cost or less than cost or whatever it was, but that's too much money for a gaming console. I mean, I do spend a decent amount of time gaming, but at the same time, it's like when you're paying $700 to $800, $900 for a console, and then you have all the games, which who knows how expensive the games are going to be. The PS4 is $60 now. So it's like, I remember when these games were $40 a piece.
Really? $60 for a PlayStation 4 right now, brand new.
I believe so. Yeah, maybe isn't it 60 or 70?
I mean, I don't look anymore because I haven't needed to, but I will definitely have a gander later on just to see that. But I wouldn't be surprised. But
I just for an average gamer, like not somebody who's like got PC gaming system, or a PC gaming system and all that. Like for kind of like an average gamer like myself, who I game probably every day, every other day. It just depends on what I have going on. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money for just a gaming system. You know what I mean? So to me, it just doesn't seem worth it. And I know that I mean, I don't know. Maybe they need to relook at, how they're building these systems and see if they can cut down costs somehow.
I just think it's greed, personally. I think they're trying to justify it because prices always go up. I saw a chart the other day showing the previous PlayStations. PlayStation 1 and 2 were both at $299 when they came out initially, 1 and 2. And PlayStation 3 was double that, and PlayStation 4 was actually cheaper than the PlayStation 3, which is kind of remarkable. But then for them now to go down this route and just like whack on a price, we're getting close to $1,000 now. We're close to there. It's sickening. It really is. People want to play video games. They don't want to fucking be like hardcore necessarily gaming nerds, PC gamers. They just want the simplicity of what consoles give them, and yet you're giving us a complicated price for us to achieve because it's so fucking expensive. And I hope this, once again, I hope this is a stalwart to this coming out. I don't want people to be gaga for this console and buy it willy-nilly. Use your fucking brains. They're taking the piss here. They're offering you something which is way overpriced, and they expect you to get it because you're loyal fucking followers of Sony. It's just ridiculous. I don't like it at all. Saranis says most AAA games are for €60. Yes, you're right, mate. Sometimes more if you buy these stupid deluxe editions and ultra amazing edition and gold platinum plated, fucking Tooth Fairy edition bollocks. That's, oh god, even the price of video games for like substandard AAA game, because let's be honest, a lot of AAA games are not really that level of AAA like they used to be. They're quite formulaic, and they've been like that in the PlayStation 4 generation. I want to. Sorry, Roberto, you got anything to say before I jump on to the next and final thing?
No, that's basically it for me.
Okay, now this is where Roberto and I kind of branch our paths a little bit on this particular issue. When the games were revealed, we saw lots of games, granted, but what I didn't see at all, and it bugged me a lot, is multiplayer gaming, cooperative gaming, online gaming. I wanted to see a little bit of that, and we didn't see any of that. Even the games that could have done it, like for instance, NBA 2K21, we didn't see any of that shit. You know, we just saw this dude sweating his ass off, fucking bouncing the ball and giving us some big ass smile. You know, that's all we saw from a possible multiplayer game. And you know, this console, you know, it's not just about showing us a plethora of games. You've got to keep it, you know, quite varied in what these different games offer. You know, a lot of these games are different to each other, but when it comes to things like single player games, multiplayer games, we didn't see enough of the multiplayer aspects in this fucking in this showcase. I want to see some of that. I want to see some of those particular aspects. Now, no, I know they're not going to be laying all their cards out on this particular reveal. There's plenty of time for them to show us a lot more, like, you know, the applications for this console and stuff like that. You know, like YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, how all of these things are going to be incorporated in this console. I understand I'm not showing this stat, but multiplayer games is gaming. This is a gameplay showcase. I want to see some of that. I mean, I know you're not much of a multiplayer gamer, Roberto. So,
But
how do you feel about them doing any of it at all?
I mean, I'm not a multiplayer player. I don't like multiplayer games. But I mean, there was definitely, I see your point where there was a huge lack, because when you do a reveal like this, you need to give a snippet of every aspect. Like, even if it's a small snippet of every aspect of your console.
Yeah.
I mean, did they even mention anything about multiplayer in there? I mean, like, I don't even remember if they mentioned anything about it.
Not
Like,
like
you
I said,
need
the only
to.
game which
Well,
sorry,
in this day and age, like with the multiplayer, the internet, streaming, you need to add that into your reveal, because that's going to be very important to a lot of people. Maybe not to me, and I'm the minority, but that's a big deal to people, is multiplayer and community, and how you connect with your friends while playing and stuff like that. Like, that's a big deal to a lot of people. So
massive deal.
yeah, so that's why it's like, that's got to be a part of your reveal. That's going to be part of your selling point. Maybe not to me, but to a multitude of other people.
Me for sure. This is why I felt like a little bit lackluster. Now, I am a single and multiplayer game. Obviously, the single player game has to be something that really floats my fucking boat. But multiplayer gaming is no different when it comes to floating my boat, and that's why I felt a little bit lackluster by this whole reveal. But I didn't see certain types of games that I would be interested in, and I know it's not all about me, but for fuck's sake, just a little bit of multiplayer, that would be nice. Just something along those lines. Show us a popular multiplayer game, or an indie multiplayer game, or something along those lines, a AA game which is multiplayer, just something to make this massive community of gamers that we're all connected together. Just give us something that we can fucking salivate over, because you gave us nothing in that department. And those are my 5 things I have to say about, 4 things, because color and size is pretty much the same thing. But those are the things I had to say about this console regarding the negatives. I don't really have much positives yet, because I want to be able to know what the positives are when I play it, and that's how I'm going to get the positives. But by looking at it, I can only see the negatives. So I'm making sure that those cons are out the way. And I hope they get dealt with, which is why I'm probably not going to buy this generation of console. I'll wait for, I won't buy the first generation of the PlayStation 5 console. I'm very likely to wait 2, 3, 4 years if I have to for the, as happy as a lot of people are with the PlayStation 5 with the reveal, you sleep on it, you have an idea to think about it, and you start picking bones at it like I have. This might not be a great thing. I mean, honestly, less than a terabyte of storage straight off the bat, that's going to piss a lot of people off. No multiplayer revealed straight off the bat. Well, that's not going to make anyone interested. So You know, PlayStation need to sort their shit out big time. And also, some people just don't even like the color of it. They want fucking black. I don't think it's gonna be that difficult for them to do. You know, even if they're manufacturing it now, I'm sure they're gonna make black editions, and they're gonna cost like $400 more for the nostalgic cunts. Anyway, I think I've ranted as much as I can. This is me trying to, you know, put a lid on how upset I am with some of the shit I've seen. If it wasn't for the fucking dickheads in my city right now protesting over stupidity, I'm talking Tommy Robinson's lot, you know, not the BLM guys, but I like BLM, Black Lives Matter. You know, I'll be even more angry than I am now, but that shit is kind of taken my mind a little bit away from this shit. But trust me, I am furious about this fucking shit. You know, Sony, sort it out fucking now. Thank you very much.
Bye, all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and yada, 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 yada.